Each year, Microsoft Research hosts hundreds of influential speakers from around the world, including leading scientists, renowned experts in technology, book authors, and leading academics, and makes videos of these lectures freely available.
Hi everyone, good afternoon. We are Val, Andrea, Marina, and Camila, and we are from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, Esdi, and we're going to present the Zone project. So, Marina, tell them how it started, please.
Well, we started with the briefing, personal information in my world. Thinking about its meaning and relevant aspects, we approached the issues individuality and personalized recommendation, already common on the web today.
So, let's see how people use this today.
Here's Thiago. He usually spends a lot of time online. As everyone else, Thiago receives personalized recommendation in all his different accounts, based on his profile in each of them.
How does Thiago use these recommendations today?
Thiago is in his Netflix page, searching for a movie, and gets Ice Age 3 recommendation. Whether he likes it or not, he doesn't know how and why this movie was suggested, and he can't change it to get another one.
So, how does it actually work? What kinds of connections were made?
Well, today we receive recommendations based on common interests with the other users and restricted to a single specific field.
But what if your interests in different areas were connected? Would it be too complex to understand?
Maybe, but if you could see how connections were made, perhaps it would improve the adequacy and relevance of recommendations.
What if you, as a user, could ask why something was to send to you?
That's why we designed Zone, a project that allows the user to visualize how recommendations were made. The name Zone comes from the concept of the rhizome, related both with the botanical and philosophical senses. Its essential meaning is a non-hierarchical organization of elements, formed from different connected points with multiple entries that can be altered.
Although we know that recommendation can be biased by the system's own interests, we propose an experimental project that allows the user to understand why recommendations were sent to them. It makes you see which information were connected and manipulated by the systems. It proposes transparency, unveiling the results, giving you the opportunity to change it. Zone proposes a new way of making links in recommendation systems to give its user an answer, gathering information from distinct areas. Therefore, to suggest you a movie, Zone would relate interests not only in movies, but also in books, music, and etc. In this way, networks could profit from sharing their information in order to make richer recommendations.
But why will this be better to Thiago, and how will it work?
Let's come back to Thiago on his Netflix page with this scenario. A world where information of different categories and different profiles can be related. This time, Thiago gets the recommendation, Rio.
How is the recommendation made?
Well, a movie is like a package of information that aggregates different sources of data, and it's not all about cinema. The movie Rio, just like any other, can be divided into categories such as genres, directors, actors, soundtracks, and the further subdivisions. If you think about the semantic content of a movie, a book, or even a place, you can see that recommendations could be based on interests from different areas. Within a categorization, Thiago's preferences related to Rio and his most visualized information from different profiles will create different weights for what matters him most, basing the recommendations given to him.
Within this model, Thiago will interact with his recommendation in a distinct way. He receives Rio in Netflix page, and as we want to know more about the film and why it was sent to him, he accesses the Zone plugin directly on Netflix page. This way, Thiago uses Zone to unpack the result. Through a very comprehensive chart, he can see how his personal interests in different fields were organized and connected. Each color represents a category, and connections between tags from different categories are represented by a dotted line. The tags Rio de Janeiro, Samba, and Carnival are connected to Thiago's Brazilian interests and are related to the movie. Let's get into one category. His music interests in samba and bossa nova, as well as the rapper Elianne, are related to the film, to the soundtrack of the film, for example. As you can see, when the user gets into the category, zooming in, secondary tags will appear, showing more connections. To better organize and display the diagram, it is divided in up to 5 categories from a group of 12 initially established. The categories may have subdivisions and can be implemented over time.
But how is Jobim going to help Thiago with an answer did not attend him?
Well, personalized recommendations do not always attend the user needs, even when they result from his signed preferences. With Jobim, it can be different. Besides displaying a comprehensive path of what was suggested, so the user could understand it, Jobim gives the possibility to interfere on the chart, allowing its editing through additions and removals.
How will that work? Let's assume that even though Thiago enjoys animation, he thought that Rio, the movie, was a little childish and wanted to see an action movie instead, but maintaining the local scenario. Then he clicks on the animation tag and chooses to remove it from the structure. Confirms the location Rio de Janeiro to the next search, and adds the tag action. Then he confirms all the changes to receive a more suitable answer. Following these principles, Jobim could act as advanced search. The changes done by Thiago are sent from Jobim to Netflix so as you can make connections to give him back another one, better suited, returning it to Jobim. The new suggestion is City of God. The movie also has Rio de Janeiro as a background, but it's an action movie as Thiago wanted.
The concept of turning web recommendations transparent and the possibility to connect interests from different categories made us think in a way of gathering personalized recommendation. A system that could be used as a recommendations aggregator, where you could easily find the recommendations that you want. Jobim would pull from different systems and put them together so it can unpack them, letting you understand and edit. With a personalized dashboard that counts with a GPS and a calendar, Jobim would show specific recommendations for the moment and place, picked from the recommendation system chosen by Thiago, such as SoundKick, Foursquare, Amazon, and etc.
In this case, Thiago is in Lapa, a bohemian area of Rio de Janeiro. He accesses Jobim to look for an event to go and gets Gilberto Gil's concert in his dashboard, given by SoundKick. This seems to be a good idea, and he searches a bit more of it. The diagram shows that the concert is going to be nearby, and some of his friends are going. He can also see the relevance of the artist to him, related with a lot of his interest in Brazilian culture. That way, he decided to go to the concert. Following this principle, Jobim could act as an advanced search engine, used to give specific suggestions. Having the possibility to select some parameters before, it includes the basic questions, when, where, and who, that will be sent to a specific application selected by the user. For example, when Thiago is on a trip to Seattle with his friend Luana, he searches for a concert to go. He selects the period of time when they are going to be there, sets the location to Seattle, adds Luana's profile, and chooses the SoundKick app. This information will be sent to SoundKick, combining their both interests with the setting maze, generating a consistent and innovative suggestion. The answer is the indie rock band Young the Giant concert. As Thiago doesn't know nothing about it, he sees which of their interests were connected with the band.
Jobim proposed a unique way of personalizing recommendations, allowing you to understand how your information relates and gives the ability to direct your recommendations to match better results. Thank you very much. If you want to contact us, this is our email, jobimproject@gmail.com. So, thank you.
Super, thank you. That was lovely. You've identified kind of one of the big problems or challenges or opportunities of modern times, right? Which is we have an infinite body of content accessible, and there's a lack of clear signals. So that was really important. I thought that was great. I love the fact that you, if I understood correctly, suggesting basically taking the different recommendation algorithms from different platforms and mashing them together to create the thing. I thought the dashboard was a stronger thought and example than the Netflix one, and maybe you want to reweight the presentation slightly so the dashboard is more important, basically, would be good. My only other thought would be, Facebook. Whacking that in somewhere probably would be a good idea, I imagine. Because there's a lot of data that's in there that's not just, immediate, but like secondary and tertiary relationships are also quite important, because that might present slightly more randomness, and sometimes you want a bit of randomness in that system, you know? But it was lovely. And also I really like the fact that all the examples were Brazilian. It's very, very patriotic of you. So it's very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, to build on that, I really think that the thing about that appeals to me of what you did was that you tried to make transparent the underlying mechanism of the recommender in a sense that the user themselves could tweak it. So I like that a lot, because I think transparency and consent are two of the main rules we should have in these types of things. But the focus was on the visual side of the representation and not the articulatory side, how I interact with it. So we've got a few basic things, like we can scale in, and I can prune the tree. I can cut things off to reduce. But it seems to me that there's a lot more analog things that are possible there that you might find interesting to explore, and perhaps you did, and I'm curious. For example, by controlling the thickness of the lines, by grabbing a line and either with a slide or something through gesture, open it up, or by pushing on something harder to give it emphasis, so you could change the weight and the balance, even without changing the network, changing the proportions, and so on. And I'm curious how much you explored that. It made me clear I'm very interested in the input and not just the graphics side of things.
Yes, we explored it a lot in this month. So we had some graphics, a lot of graphics through this time, and some graphics had some tags with different sizes and things like this that the user could put some relevance in some tags or something like this. And in this last graphic, we tried to make things more clear for the public. So we didn't came to these solutions, but we did think about this type of thing. Yes.
No, I imagined as such, but thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.